Okay guys, I'm using a iPad Pro 12-inch and it's around 2 to 3 years old. I have an iPad, the Pro Pencil, the Apple Pencil, and then I just have a stand that I find absolutely valuable. These rain stands are nice and solid, they don't move around. So this is the character we're gonna draw. On the right hand side you have different layers. This is the layer that handles, I'm gonna show you how I use the layers, but this is the layer that I use to outline a character. This is the layer that's for the color, and this is the layer for the shadows. All right, so we're gonna turn this all off, and we are gonna bring in, okay, here we are. Here is a reference character that I'm gonna use. Now I wanna redraw this character for one simple reason, is that this character looks like he's extremely mean with his eyes. I could change it, but I grabbed this guy from the internet and I want to take a little bit more artistic liberty with him. So I'm going to create a new layer, and I'm going to start with my drawing layer on the outside, my sketch with a darker line. Your layers are on your left. Your markers are on your right, your drawing utensils. So with the black regular straight line, I'm going to choose the opacity, drag the opacity up to 100% to make sure it's dark. That's my line. It's a little bit too thick, so I'm going to go over here and change the to about 2. I like 2. Now what's cool about Adobe Draw is that if I take 2 fingers, I can move the drawing around. I can scale it. It doesn't really scale the drawing, it just scales what you are working with. I'll show you a little bit later, but you want to click and drag, and then you can move it around however you want. So if you're putting this iPad and you're at a coffee shop, you may not have a stand. I recommend a cheap plastic stand that gets you at the right position so your neck doesn't get all screwed up. So once that's there and you understand how to move it, that just takes some practice, okay? I'm not gonna lie to you, this takes some getting used to. This doesn't register your palm or your palm as a drawing, but it does register your finger. So I'm gonna hit 2 fingers to undo, two swipes of a finger to undo. And now I'm gonna click and drag and move him over to the right, and I'm gonna start drawing in my new layer here. So new draw layer, I'm gonna drag that layer up to the top, and I'm gonna check to see my, I think I can. Okay, so this is my new draw layer. I'm going to grab him up at the top, and now I'm going to start drawing this guy out. Okay, so now I'm just going to start with the outline of this character here. So I'm going to come up, just kind of let my hands flow. I learned in design school that you got to go with an arc. Don't try to nitpick it like this, just go with an arc. So I just went like this. I'm gonna draw over that line and come up. My whole life is based on the concept of make as many mistakes as possible, and done is better than perfect. So if you follow my other channel that's in my garage called The Hack Lab, I make a lot of mistakes, and that's how I learn. Okay, so now I got that. I don't feel like I want to draw any details now. I just kind of want to draw the other side. So I'm going to go underneath him, and then I'm going to come up, and I don't like what I did there, and I'm going to consider it practice. I'm going to come up, and this is about leveraging your hand where your finger is holding your other hand in position. I'm using my finger, and it doesn't register it as a way to guide. By the way, that while I'm doing this is just extremely fun. I don't like that whole thing there. I'm gonna drag 2 fingers. I'm gonna move this over to the right. I didn't like that line. I just 2 fingers to zoom and to move. I didn't like it. He was becoming a little too skinny. So now I'm gonna redo it, and I'm gonna go here. I'm just gonna not care as much. And I'm going to come out with his hand and his hand there. And now with this hand here, I've decided to go out a little bit more. And now for his head, I'm going to drag his head around, and I'm just going to keep going. Okay. So now, yeah, it's looking a little bit differently. Don't like the head at all. I'm going to go fatter for the head. And so now I'm starting to get an idea of what I want. So I'm gonna go a little bit And now I'm gonna draw the head. So now I just did that 2 fingers just to wipe because I wasn't liking what I was gonna do. I'm gonna draw the eyes to give him positioning. Of course, for me, the eyes are gonna be different size. I'm gonna try to keep all of the stroke weights consistent, the entire look consistent. And now I'm going to draw over his head. He's looking like a little ghost. Now I'm gonna bring his arm, that was kind of a crazy thing. I'm just gonna go ahead and bring his little hand there. So he's looking a little funny. All right, I'm gonna make his feet. I'm a little bit concerned about him looking decent here, but this is fun for trial and error, and I can go ahead and draw over it. So let me see what he looks like with a smile. You don't want the eyes to be in the center like this. He'll look like he's freaky. Like if you look like this, he looks like he's mad. And here he looks like he's sad. This looks like he's having some just trouble. And so, so this to me is one of the best ones, just a little bit off center, but not put in the thing. And then just there, he looks like that. And now we're gonna put his buck teeth. And I'm starting not to get happy with the head, but this isn't my final drawing. I'm gonna draw his hands. He's got 3 fingers. And now I'm gonna draw his little stomach, and this arm is looking too short. I mean, I wish it was coming down here. He's looking a little cartoon character. I'm gonna give him nice bigger ears. Okay. Yeah, so I don't like him as much as this guy. Okay, so this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna erase that thing I just messed up. I'm gonna select this layer once. I'm gonna bring the opacity down, way down. I'm gonna create a new layer, a new draw layer, and I'm gonna draw over what I really liked about this guy. All right, so this is the little crappy little dude that I wanna make better. So I'm gonna make a new layer, new draw layer. I'm gonna put that, click, and drag it up to the top. I'm gonna take this crappy little layer there, tap it once, bring back the opacity so I don't have to look out my little bad little drawing. Then go back up to the draw layer, choose the pencil. Remember, I was using 2-point as my stroke weight. And then I'm gonna start drawing over this guy. Remember last time I made his head a little too skinny, so the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm going to make sure I'm in that draw layer. I'm gonna make his head just a little bit wider. And now I'm gonna follow the hands after that. Arcing it, like I said, using your elbow, not your wrist. Coming around, having confidence a little bit more now that I have this extra thing there. I have the extra line to support me with this drawing. I don't feel like I'm completely starting with a brand new slate. Now kind of do whatever you feel makes you happy. I'm just going to be drawing bigger ears because I'm like, I can. And then I'm going to be doing the hands. Oh, how did that change opacity? Wow, I must have selected another layer. I selected another layer. I'm gonna go hit undo a bunch of times to get rid of those little croppers. I inadvertently selected another layer. Okay, so now I'm pretty rocking and rolling. Here's his little fingers. And now I'm gonna do his eyes with a little bit more determination. And there we go with his things. Make him a little cross-eyed, two beady eyes, too straight of eyes makes the dude look like he's mad. Now I'll just do a little bit bigger belly here. And then the feet are fun to draw, even though they're a little bit silly. And then I'm gonna go ahead and do the smile just a little bit bigger because I can. Don't really like that, so I'm gonna position my arms so that they open there. Make two big buck teeth. Now at this point, I can double click that other layer to drop back that other layer. And then I'm gonna drop down my stroke weight over here. I think I'm gonna do 0.5, and I'm gonna do my little cross hatching, and that I'm actually gonna do a little bit to 1. You notice that I didn't erase that. I'm just doing my cross hatching in the center of the mouth. And that pretty much gets him where he wants. So let's add some color to him. So I'm gonna go change, I added a new layer. Let's say we have a blue guy. I'm gonna bring the opacity down. And the reason why I bring the opacity down is that the opacity is progressive, which means if I draw, let me go up here with the stroke. If I were to draw one thing at maybe 50% opacity, draw on top of it, it gets progressively darker. So 2 fingers to undo all that stuff. So I'm gonna go down a little bit more, and I'm gonna start filling this guy in. Really fun to do, guys, really fun. Now all this, I'm gonna have to go to a little bit of a smaller brush to fit inside of here. Not really caring that I'm going out of the lines. I'm not a kindergartner, I'm an adult. I can have fun with this. So it really doesn't matter. You can just really go to town with this design. I'm not sure what color his feet are. It doesn't matter. So now I'm gonna add a new layer. I'm gonna add a new draw layer. I'm gonna drag that layer below the drawing here, and I'm gonna do the shadows. So I'm gonna select this, and I'm gonna choose the color of black, opaque, and then right about here, I'm gonna start drawing in some shadows. I'm gonna put that layer above. Yeah, there we go. 2 fingers, a little bit smaller brush, and a little bit more opaque. And that kind of gives me the shadows I need. I don't like that. It's too dark. So I'm kind of rushing here because my Apple Pencil's about to die. So